Hi, my name is Tamara Russell, and I'm the facilitator of the blog Mrs. Russell's Room over at www.tamaravrussell.com. And today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my latest close reading pack for teaching the topic of aviation. I've had this pack out for a while, but I just gave it a facelift. So I'm going to go through the whole thing really quickly to show you what's included. For this one, I've added some interactive notebook pages to it, and that's new based on what I've done in the past. It still has a great science connection in it, so let's kind of go through it. All right, so I leave some notes in here for the teacher, and then I go through to giving you some directions about how to print, the Common Core alignment, table of contents, some literacy links. Oh, and let me go over this really quickly with you. The books that you'll need for this specifically are How People Learn to Fly by Fran Hodgkins, and then When Pigs Fly. This is your paired text. There's an interactive link for this also within the unit, but you can find it like on Tumblebooks, you can find it on YouTube, you could also find it at the library. If you click here, this will take you all the way back to the table of contents. But since I'm in a PowerPoint slide right now, it's not going to link up for you. All right, so I'm going to go to my next one. When I do my plans, this is a 5-day plan, but typically when I do complex text read alouds, I do them for about 35 minutes. So if I use it as a whole group instructional tool, it's going to be about 35 minutes. If I do centers, it's probably 15 to 20 minutes. I don't usually do both. Like I don't do whole group and then take them into centers and do another 30 minutes or 20 minutes in my center group. So it just depends on how my week's playing out. But typically all of my complex text read aloud plans look like this. They'll have a think about it where the students are kind of preparing for the reading. Then there's going to be a talk about it where the students can use like a collaborative grouping structure. I use a lot of Kagan in my class. I don't know if you guys use Kagan in yours, but any kind of grouping where the students turn and talk, that's what I do here. Listen for it. I tell the students something that I want them particularly to be listening for, and then read about it. That's the directions for the page that we read on, and then how they reflect on the text that we've read. There's 5 days that are like this, and again, like I said, you can break it up. You don't have to do all of it in day one. I follow that up with some interactive notebook pages, and what I love about the way I've designed this is it's super easy for littles. You just cut this right in half right here, and then you can glue this into a composition notebook. And if the students need extra writing space, of course, they can continue to use the lines in the composition notebook. But this is just something that goes with the assigned task for the day in the lesson plans. Second grade students, I offer them the same kind of tool, but then, of course, not with the little guidelines in the middle. Keep going. More stuff that you can use as interactive notebook stuff. Remember that you can really switch things up if you use colored construction paper or you use like Astro Brights paper. That can really make your interactive notebook be light and fluffy and fun. So this is second grade. Here are some things that I used with my students to do pocket chart type things while I was reading the story. And you can see here some pictures of what it would look like in, what things look like actually when I place them in the composition book. Day 2 plans. Some materials that go with it. Here, what you would do is, again, cut on this gray line, and the students would take, one student has this side, one student has this side, and then they would use these to glue into their interactive notebook. This is for fluency, so what I would do with this is just take this, cut one of these out, and then attach it to the top corner of the fluency page that I'm using with students so that they can time themselves. I didn't have a picture example of that, but I would usually put it like right here. You get 2 passages for first grade and 2 passages for second. So notice the standard in the corner, that should change. The number would change, the code. You get a teacher copy. It shows you what colors things should be made into. It's first grade high, second grade high. And you can see here, we move more along the lines of like a traditional second grade passage here. We keep going. All right, so more material that you can use in a whole group carpet time experience with students, more lesson plans, and then of course my science lab. So here's the science lab. The students can actually record their thinking here with some scaffolding. we're going to be learning about drag with this unit. And then I also offer you another page for second grade that doesn't have the extra lines in between. We're almost done. Here's day 4 plans. And then here's your directions for how you can find free Tumble books online. But again, if that doesn't work for you, there is a link within the plans for how you can get to How Pigs Fly as a link. And day 5 plans. Then we go into the Wright Brothers Fluency. 2 sets again, 1 for first, 1 for second. Things for your pocket charts when you're doing your carpet time with the students. Use that construction paper or colored Astro Brights paper there. And then here's our last little bit, the vocabulary cards. And when I do the vocabulary cards for first grade, I just glue this down and I glue the vocabulary word in context here. For second grade, I might put glue behind just this top rectangle and then have the students flip this up so that they can write a definition of the word gravity and then maybe highlight the word gravity in the text. And you have all of the vocabulary words. There's not too many, but you have the vocabulary words and the word in context. Wrapping up with the actual vocabulary. Oops, it's kind of messed up here. This is my old version. This is my new version. And here's the new version again. And the homeschool connection. This is for a paper plane event that you can do at your school. And I did that with my students several years in a row, and they loved it. And then here's some other close reading plans that I have. Like I said, I'm going through and updating these. This is the first one that I've updated, but as I update others, I'll come through and I'll show you guys what I've done with it. And then my terms of use page. So if you like this, stay tuned. I'll be talking a lot about close reading and how I do close reading in my class, how I did it with first grade students, and how I'm doing it in third grade with my new batch of kiddos. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. You can find this unit on Teachers Pay Teachers.